The man gave the beggar his entire year's salary and kindly reminded her that the infection on her foot was serious and needed to be checked at the hospital across the street as soon as possible. He was a doctor at that hospital and might be able to help her. Unexpectedly, the homeless woman told him to get lost. The man could only leave helplessly. His name was Max. He was the medical director of a hospital. Everything in the hospital depended on him. Even though Max was so busy, he still couldn't stop thinking about the homeless woman he had just met. He took the time to bring her bandages and medicine, but the homeless woman fled in panic, saying she had no money and couldn't afford treatment. When Max told her it was free, the homeless woman looked surprised. Max then personally bandaged her wound and instructed her to take her medicine on time every day. This successfully gained the homeless woman's trust, and she told him she would come back to see him. Max turned to leave. Unexpectedly, the homeless woman called out to him. It turned out that her brother was seriously ill, but refused to go to the hospital for treatment. She hoped Max could help her. Max said he was too busy, and the entire hospital needed him. But seeing the homeless woman's disappointed expression, Max couldn't bear to leave and decided to stay and help her. The homeless woman then took him to the slum where she lived. Not only was the environment there terrible, but some people were not happy to see a doctor like him. They rudely told Max to leave immediately. Fortunately, the homeless woman intervened, and Max was able to examine the brother's condition. After the examination, he discovered that the brother might have a fungal infection and needed to go to the hospital for treatment immediately. Upon hearing the word hospital, the brother shook his head and refused. The man beside him insisted that hospitals were scams. They had sent their mother to the hospital, but not only was her illness not cured, they had also spent all their savings, which left the entire family homeless and sleeping on the streets. Even though Max promised them he wouldn't charge a single penny, they wouldn't believe him and rudely told Max to leave immediately. The homeless woman wanted to keep him there but didn't know how to speak up. But soon, the homeless woman helped the brother, who was coughing up blood, to the hospital and shouted Max's name loudly. The hospital immediately rushed him into the emergency room and performed a tracheal intubation examination, which revealed his bronchial wall had ruptured and was bleeding and needed to be sutured immediately or he would bleed to death. But at that moment, all the surgeons were in surgery and there was no doctor available to perform the surgery. Max came up with a bold plan. He approached the surgeon performing the surgery and said that as long as the patient's safety was guaranteed, Dr. Reno could perform 2 surgeries simultaneously. Soon, the man's bleeding was sutured by Dr. Reno. After his heart rate and blood pressure stabilized, Max found the homeless man's family and told them that the man's condition had stabilized, but that he needed to stay in the hospital for further examination. Upon hearing this, they began to worry about the high costs again. Max reassured them once more, explaining that this was a public hospital that would not charge them a single penny and would not refuse any patients, so they could rest assured.